for.
Yeah, so it's kind of the back to the winning ways here, especially, you know, it's the recipe that you've got. Hey, you're 100% on it. I don't see why not run it. It is exciting to see that TSM kind of taking a step back and saying, hey, maybe we do need a Sentinel on some of these maps, because there was quite some time where they were going Sentinel lists. So,
Sure.
you know, instead of trying to pave the way, you don't necessarily have to recreate the wheel, right? For a lot of these maps, for a lot of these compositions, like you're not necessarily, nobody's going to knock you for playing something similar. There's so many times we see just mirror matchups across the board. So
Yeah.
I absolutely love to see that. I also like that they've been mixing up, and when they don't have that Killjoy, sometimes hazed on that Brimstone. That is exciting because Brimstone got buffs, right? It's one of the couple of times that we're going to be able to see that.
You even
agent.
saw them running double smokes on Bind with both Omen and Brimstone. So that might be something that they might start facing in other maps as well. I have to kind of keep that in mind, as we are going to go ahead and see this round lift off, and Gen.G wasting no time applying that pressure towards the A side. Icebox to me is kind of like a set piece simulator a lot of the time. There's not a whole lot of mid control going on. Some teams have experimented with the tube, but a lot of teams just kind of do these gathers, especially on pistols. And so no shocker here to see this commitment. We see Quinn was trying to put some pressure at tube, but he's been caught already.
And you don't get a whole lot out of that with the paranoia as well. That turret getting a handful of value, although the kills traded right back almost immediately. And now it's a 4v2. Gen.G looking to come out on top. Drone, the first to find a kill, now needs to find a couple of more, as he's still waiting on that Sova to creep on up. Low HP on one, if they could find that one up into Nash. He's able to find him from downtown, but now finds himself in a 1v3, and it's just not enough as Gimon finds the last. And map one, off to a pretty good start here for Gen.G.
Yeah, I mean, they lost their first player, Hwin, up through 2, but the rest were already ready to pounce on A, and I feel like that movement from Hwin, at the very least, maybe slowed down a rotation from B side, and they were able just to really trade effectively on the side itself, just, again, kind of pounced. And, you know, Gen.G normally a slower-paced team, very methodical, really wait until the late rounds to really go for things. That time, a lot more explosive, and just getting on in there. And we are going to go ahead and see TSM actually force up a couple of stingers and get some shares as well. So they're investing pretty heavily into this to see if they can contest right away.
And it's, I mean, this, again, the force-ups feel like the biggest kind of ego move, right? Because if you lose this one, you kind of lose all the way until that 4th round. So an extra one falling off the board. I know that the stinger is... It has a mind of its own when it comes to finding kills, so you can't necessarily fault them for it, but unfortunately haven't been able to find too much early in this. And Wardell over towards Snowman with the sheriff in hand.
Yeah, we
now act as his pseudo operator.
Yeah, Gen.G put some initial pressure on A side, but now they've pretty much fully committed to long B control. And I have to say, TSM's made the proper rotations. They're getting a couple of picks, but Gen.G are trading it right back now. They had their Cypher lurking through tube. Drone is going to cut it off, though. And now it's going to put us into kind of murky waters, I would say. It's now a 2-on-2 site, not taking yet. Boombot detects a player.
Ooh, and damage to come through. Missed out on the Sova, but tagged the Omen in the back. So lower HP here for Gen.G as they look to get that spike down. Paint shells still available. They're going to go out over the top. Unfortunately, not going to find the kill now. Gen.G playing with that clock as the spike has been planted. TSM looking to turn it around and make me eat my words. Wardell, unfortunately, not finding an upgrade there. Is that recon dart? Not going to find too much. They know they're in the area. Now they look to peek. Nobody has faked the spike just yet. Wardell actually going to find a headshot onto McHale. Finds another onto Gimon, and TSM. They grab themselves around.
Indeed, they do. Again, they went ahead and went for the force-up, got some shares, got a couple of stingers, and, you know, while they did feel some pressure at A initially, they pretty quickly read what the focus was for Gen.G. I mean, they droned out long B and got that control pretty early, so trying to do a bit of split pressure, but you could tell that their commitment was very much towards the B side of the map. TSM was able to pick up on that pretty quickly. I think they had 4 players in position as soon as Gen.G had even gotten a spike anywhere near site, and I think that was a huge catch. I think they picked off Kusta that was underneath tube, and I think that's really what kind of sealed the deal, because that got them back into reasonable numbers, and they were also able to, you know, pick up pretty early with the boombot there from Drone on the final 2 players positioning. So at that point, you just kind of flex your individual aim, and it worked out well for them. They tied it up early.
Yeah, and I guess the second round force only is bad if it goes poorly, as unfortunately for Hayes, things going poorly. Sean gonna find that first kill to open things up. Wardell with the upgraded Bulldog that he picked up from that last round. Unfind rounds downrange. Unfortunately, not gonna get too much from the box. And Kusta on the flank once more, able to pick up another kill. This time, not so foolish to just run in blind. He's just hanging out, and it's looking like a flawless response here from Gen.G.
Yeah, this was a really nice attack from Gen.G. They went for the under 2 push right off the rip. They caught kind of the first player off guard, and then Wardell, they were able to blindside him with a late lurk from Kusta up the tube itself as he was focused on a player on top site. So just a little bit of, misdirection and just kind of playing off of each other with contact, and Gen.G are able to bust that site wide open, only losing one player in the process. So the Force Wars will persist, it seems, right now, Tanner, as no team has really gotten comfortable footing economically yet in this game, and it's been a pretty scrappy start to such an important match on a map that, again, there's not that much information on either team available. So we're all kind of learning together, I feel like. And right now, again, it's still really hard to put your thumb on where this is headed. We're seeing a bit of a slugfest as things kind of kick off here.
Kusta on the lurk has been the last round going 1 for 1, right? That's the most you can really hope for in a round, but that one staying alive, picking up a kill, and then completely locking down Kitchen. There was no way. Granted, Cutler was in a 1v5, just no way for him to get back in. And you said it, just scrappy back and forth. And if you guys are unfamiliar, this one winning here qualifies you for that close for Challengers 2. As Sean gonna kick things off once more, this time not necessarily needing the larger rifle, able to take down Wardell and look to go right back to town. He also has that showstopper available. Low on HP, though. I'm not too sure if we'll see that one, but another B take in the works. And I mean, not a whole lot from TSM back on the eco.
Yeah, they don't really have a whole lot to work with here. They tried to make a couple of plays through these smokes, but Gen.G has been disciplined and kept an eye on them and not really allowed a snake to sneak through the grass in those regards. As we do see Sean get picked up, he was on that middle lurk, so that does open up a couple of more routes for TSM to try to retake through, but the kills from Gen.G have responded in kind and left Drone all by his lonesome. He still has his full kit, but now the element of surprise is well and truly gone. With that, he tried to get a jump before it completed, but he is going to get caught. Gen.G will survive with 3 players, and now economy completely in tatters for TSM. They will have to go for this upgraded pistols this round. And so Gen.G, they're starting to get some control of this game. Obviously, it's still early days, but they are starting to, put the pedal to the metal a bit. They're probably going to win a 3rd round in a row here, as TSM have little to work with and kind of start establishing their attacking side, on their pick, right? So this is big.
And it does feel strange, or it feels awkward to kind of say, hey, this map is attacker side or the defense sided. What we know is Gen.G, they prefer the attacking side. The next map that we're going to is, I believe it is Ascent, where Gen.G, they opt into taking attack first rather than going on defense. So this is where we're going to see Gen.G thrive. In all 3 maps, should we see all 3, are Gen.G starting on attack here. So really solid for a team that I think does need to get a bit ahead for themselves early in it. And I mean, looking to put another round on the board. This should be 4-1 unless TSM can pull out some crazy stuff with these sheriffs.
They were able to get the final orb on Wardell, and he's able to get his Blade Storm out. So they do have a little bit of something to work with in that regard. And again, some upgraded pistols, but we see this player absolutely trapped. As going to be Sean and company able to go ahead and pick up there on Drone. He's just pinched in the corner here. Hey, he's able to fight back a bit with the Sheriff. A couple of nice kills, but again, Gen.G are so quick to respond in these trading exchanges and make sure that they are never really a step behind, even when, they meet a bit of resistance. And so now it's all on Wardell with the Blades to see if he can't pull off something miraculous.
This would be miraculous, the best way to describe it. As he spots one out back towards yellow. No, maybe one on the flank. He's able to pick that one up on the game on the right. Click goes wide, though, and Sean sits him down. Now Gen.G have a couple of good ultimates to work with this next one, Dust, and this is a dire round. That economy for TSM after buying up in this one, it's going to be a little shaky.
Yeah, this is kind of one of those, right back to saving if you're unable to get this one going, even with max loss bonus starting to be approached here. 2,900 coming in would kind of leave them, it's kind of scrambling to get full complete buys. It would be a little bit tough. You'd have to be picky and choosy on it. But as you said, there's going to be 3 alts in play for both teams now. 2 showstoppers included in that, as well as 2 Hunters Furious, and the lockdown for TSM for retakes. So a lot of different, tools in each player's garage here to try to figure something out as Win. Wasting no time, working his way up too. But he's definitely got some support behind him. They are moving at a much faster pace than I'm used to.
Yeah, we're used to that slow and steady from Gen.G, playing that default styles. He gets information.
Oh my!
Actually going to take the ultimate and find the kill, and everybody getting mowed down on the way to this B site through the kitchen. They will go, and Gen.G look to find themselves flawless here in this next one. Rifle round for TSM, but Cutler not going down without a fight. Now a 2v4. Possibly winnable here, especially with the rifles in the hands, and that Spike's now creeping over towards this A site.
Yeah, I mean, they do have Hunter's Fury to maybe slow down the plant as well if need be, though I would say the Silva's still out of position, and there's still a Cypher sitting in their spawn point. That's going to be tough to crack to actually even get some routes. And they do have their Omen flanking through A main, so he'll bypass Cypher holding that position, but Cutler may be in trouble here just trying to get into a retake position. Again, has to get past that Cypher in his spawn first, which he does seem aware that that's a possibility. He's trying to check all his corners here. But now we have Gimon trying to play a little bit of a bait and switch with his Cypher tucked in. It's going to be Kusta. And now you can see Silva's actually just kind of backing off. Cutler doesn't really want anything to do with this. Sub Rosa, nice little pick there on the Kusta. And they just don't really have the time now. And Cutler's already well out of it. So this is going to go the way of Gen.G. But again, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Gen.G. Again, their trademark playstyle has always been one of the slower styles in North America. You know, very much just like default, you know, kind of spreading the map, you know, just slowly working map control, going for the mid to late round execute. But you're seeing them go much faster, for one, and for two, they're also kind of abusing that 2 position more than a lot of North American teams do. I feel like most of the time I see North American teams just kind of go for the classic, like, okay, we're going to drone and such up long B. Maybe have like a Viper playing over there being disorienting, or you're just seeing like a full like 4-man A attack with like one person kind of watching the mid flank. And instead, you're seeing Gen.G pick up the pace and use some more elements of the map on their attacking side than, you know, what I'm used to seeing. So kind of good for the evolution of the map meta, for one, and it's also cool to see Gen.G be able to pick up the pace a bit and show us a little bit of a different style.
And it's now I feel like kind of put TSM in this oh crap mentality where mid is not just no man's land, right? Sure. They have to now worry about this. You see 3 members stacked up 4 actually with an aggressive push. Granted, it is another eco round, so maybe just trying to catch somebody off guard. And Gen.G, they're keeping them guessing right back to the slow play style. Defaulted, just hanging out, trying to punish some of these pushes on that eco round. The Spike's still hanging out in spawn, and man, Gen.G looking pretty unstoppable here, looking to grab their 6th round, and TSM really haven't had an answer as Wardell able to sneak away, but the information that Sean is there, and the smoke's going to try and stop the push.
Yeah, the other good thing about that is that's like a long-term thing too, Tanner. Like you can kind of condition your opponent and use it to set up plays later on where they, like you said, they have to respect mid a little bit more now, and that maybe creates a little bit more chinks in the armor when you actually go for like a heavy-handed execute on either site early through kind of the more traditional routes. So it could really play a bunch of different ways. But as we see here, Gen.G starting to make that gather up on the A side. All 5 players here now. Smoke's starting to go down. Boombot's starting to clear out that ore position, and they're starting to try to hammer their way in. There are 4 players in position though here for TSM.
Ooh, really nice recon. Bolt got some information as they started to storm onto the site. First kill going to come through, but traded right back. Once more, it is pistols for TSM. Pistols and a Hunter's Fury as Cutler's actually able to grab one. Now we find ourselves in a 2v2 with the lockdown on the site and all the upgrades available. Quinn so far off the site. The Spike not even necessarily planted for him. This is going to be miracles coming out from Quinn here. He's able to find the first, pops the knives to look to find the second. And a 1v1, Quinn taking on Clutchler here. Can he live up to the name? Quinn gonna go up top. Spray comes through. The right click gonna miss. And Cutler finds 3 to get TSM back on the board.
Yeah, it was kind of great just to have Wardell's that early detection system, playing that kind of advanced position over, you know, in the middle of the A site, be able to dash out once he felt some pressure, get the read, again, get players in position to just hold and not have to play for retake. And then a great combination, you know, of their Hunter's Fury and their lockdown to, you know, stall out and then create an opportunity for the retake. And then Drone, you know, again, just didn't get checked. He gets a kill right off the rip. And then, again, that combination of the lockdown and Hunter's Fury just creates enough chaos for TSM to start slotting into favorable positions. And Cutler able to come up with a clutch in the end as well against Win, who looked primed to maybe pull off that 1v2. He got the first, but could not find the second there. And so TSM will not allow Gen.G to get too far ahead just yet. But certainly Gen.G still in a good position and have a chance to reset TSM here.
In stating the obvious in this, the ultimate's so incredibly important, but to see both of these teams really playing around them more specifically to find these wins in the rounds. That lockdown being crucial, a neural theft in previous rounds that spotted out Drone in the 1v3 just to close out that round and make sure there was no chance they pick that up as they go right back to the 2 ways, but Wardell is there to sit it down. Now another close. And he's looking to re-peek. He's not going to find the angle. Sean sits him down once more. That is Sean's specialty, killing players with the op, having a Vandal in his hands. But TSM not done just yet. Neither is Sean, neither is Mikhail. The kills go back and forth. But Cutler, unfortunately, finds himself again, possibly saving here in this round.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that whole round really does come down to that tube exchange, right? I mean, you did see Gen.G definitely putting that emphasis on getting that long B control, but it was also about sending that boom bot through tube and putting that pressure on that kitchen position. And I thought TSM made a cool little play there, right? You know, having someone rifle down the boom bot to kind of mask the fact that Wardell was holding that angle to allow him to get that first pick and dash out. But unfortunately for them, Sean was able to trade it right back and get Gen.G back a man ahead, and they also caught the flank through middle right away as well. There was a defender trying to get in behind too, but he got busted pretty early, and that basically sealed the deal. As you said, it forces Sova to just have to kind of save over here on the TSM side, force Cutler just to kind of have to bide his time for the next round, and so now economic reset going to go against TSM. Gen.G building up a nice lead here on their attacking side. And again, they're showing you a bunch of different looks. Like, we've seen them play at a faster pace than we're used to kind of early in this game. But then that round, again, they were kind of able to play a little bit more textbook. So again, it's nice to see some diversity there. It's nice to see them playing efficiently. And honestly, TSM look a little bit lost in the woods here. I mean, again, I like the adjustment to have kind of that cloaked op positioning for Wardell that round, but still the trading efficiency hasn't been there for them. And they do feel like they're still not quite as comfortable as they are in some of the rest of their map pool.
Yeah, and a lot of that feels like having to pull Wardell now towards mid keeps... We usually see the operator on A, right? Trying to battle back and forth between both of the heavens, attacker sided and defender sided. And TSM just don't have that. And you see that play slowly starting to lean over towards this A site. Fortunately, Hayes is here and does have quite a bit of utility to try and delay the push. There's no operator here, so you're not necessarily worried about too much when you're winning these gun battles, and you're as hot as Gen.G have been. Is now the utility going to come on through? Alarm bot goes down. Nanoswarm's going to be used and will stall momentarily, but when with the operator sits Cutler down, has the high ground as well, making sure nobody can rotate back on through. Sean now going to be in close quarters combat here. Vandal versus Spectre. He's not too privy of the information either. As the smokes goes out, he is locked down on this site.
This is one of those awkward moments for sure. It's just like that mystery Valentine situation where you're trying to figure out who's on the other side. And, well, Hayes eventually slides and he's able to find Sean, sure. And TSM's Wardell pitches in as well, but Gen.G are still holding on here, but only for just a moment as Wardell has now made things interesting. It's now a 2 versus 2. He pops the ult. The other two defenders having to play the spike from well behind. Hunter's free, though, from Mikhail. Could indeed be what the doctor ordered, as Kusa's able to play off of it for another pick, and now it's all on Wardell. He's found one, but now he's been found out, and time has ticked too far. He will have to bow out, and he's not even able to escape with the saved operators. So Gen.G are just hammering away, and I think part of that, Tanner, is that conditioning we were talking about a few rounds ago. Look what they have made TSM do to respect their B split. They had Wardell posted up on 2 with the operator. They had 2 players playing kind of aggressively on long B, which means their rotation's going to be a little bit longer to help out reinforce A, and it also forces their rotation to be more of a flank, if anything. And so Gen.G just pounced with 5 men on A, just rain it down and overwhelm really TSM. I mean, Wardell, yeah, his individual heroics almost got them back into the round with the clutch, but in reality, Gen.G was outplaying them throughout the course of that round and really throughout the course of this whole half.
And the one thing that you maybe could have put your eggs in the basket of was Sabrosa on the flank, but Gen.G had that locked down as well. It seems... It's a tall task at this point. It seems like TSM have hit that brick wall. I think that's why we are seeing that. Icebox was actually one of the first picks to come on through here from Gen.G, feeling incredibly comfortable. And it feels like just a bit ago, they didn't have any information on this map. Now seeming to be masters as damage traded back and forth. Again, an eco round for TSM, which is, you know, name a better duo here on Icebox, TSM and their stingers or pistols, because they have spent so much time there.
They've done some good chip damage to Sean here and actually kind of forced Gen.G to reconsider what they want to do in this round. So, I mean, TSM making do with little as far as, again, creating some pressure and forcing some different decision-making. Now, TSM do have a couple of players also bleeding out, to be fair, so it hasn't been a complete freebie for them in that regard, but we are going to see Gen.G now doubling back over to B. Only Drone is really in position at this point on the other side of the double stack box here. Another player has just rotated under 2. Drone position still cloaked right now, up close with the Frenzy. Paranoia is being exchanged. TSM is pouncing off the back of it as well with this lower firepower. Gamon, though, kind of ninjas up close to the smoke to try to reel it back in, but Drone and company will just not let this one go. They are absolutely crushing it now, and Hwin will get sliced and diced in the middle there of the site. And TSM, they just kind of pull one out of nowhere there. That was the RKO of RKOs.
Hey, TSM, stick with pistols. Stick with stingers. Those close angles have been what is working here in this one. And you pointed it out, Drone on the other side of the box. It's like the blind Valentine again. And most importantly, there's not a whole lot to stop that peak or even the spray through, right? Typically you see a Sage here where you can just kind of spray through that tall box, but nothing stopped Drone from just peeking and immediately killing the spike planter, and even had Hwin picked up a couple of kills at the end of the round. I think it was on 13 seconds left as he picked up the spike, and Wardell actually picks up a couple, but Hwin, he is back with a vengeance. He takes his operator back in hand, has the blades out.
Oh, no.
And unfortunately, will be sat down. So an operator down up in kitchen.
He's had a nightmare.
One of these teams rewards on the way out, and Kusta still on the flank, still able to find the kills. I thought Cutler knew he was there, but unfortunately he did not. The odds have been evened. The Broza teleports over towards B. Unfortunately, that spike headed over towards the A site.
Yeah, indeed. He gets a little bit wrong with that ult. Can't blame him, though. He wanted to try to make sure he get in position to help in case it was. But Hayes, he doesn't need any help, does he, Tanner? He's able to pop off a couple of big Vandal headshots on his own. Kusta trying to sneak in behind, and he's been busted by the turret. No surprise now. He does win the heads-up duel, though, and he has a 1v2, but the spike is still not in his grasp, and Drone has come into position at just the right time. And so TSM are just somehow clawing their way back into this game these last couple of rounds. I mean, I thought Gen.G played that round well. This opening from Hwin to trade out Wardell as he tried to dash away, that was great, but this extension right there to not get Cutler, I think, was what really kind of put a hamper on things, and obviously Hayes just makes a big individual play on the site itself.
Gosh, you just hate to see that round fall apart like that.
Not me. I mean, I'm neutral in this game, so
true.
You know, whatever. Throw it at me.
Okay, hold on. Time out. I speak in terms of fans. I'm
Sure.
speaking you meaning the fans out there.
Yeah, that's
you
fair.
hate to see that, and it does feel
Depends on what
like
fan you are,
is,
to be fair as well.
True. It does depend on the you know, who you're rooting for in this one out there in the chat. And I mean, this is the Valorant feel where you get 6 or 7 solid rounds, but then it starts to fall apart. Now Sean looking to open things up once more, try and reel it back in. That showstopper is not going to get a whole lot of anything. It does push him back momentarily, so kind of acting as a pseudo lockdown to allow Mikhail to get that spike on down. The shock darts go out, and he's actually able to escape from those too. So now we get ourselves a real lockdown, but more importantly, a 5v5 retake. There isn't a whole lot to answer that one. Oh no, the paint shells actually downed the lockdown in Gen.G. Megamind brain here. Oh, nice kill from Drone, though, to open things up. Kimon trades it back, Stinger in hand, and you just got to nerf that weapon as Mikhail finds another with the Vandal. Now the rifle starting to come online for both teams. Wardell able to find it with the operator, but now it's a 1v2. He doesn't have a whole lot of time. He tries to fake the defuse, but Hwin will sit him down, and Hwin getting the better half of these jet exchanges.
Yeah, Gen.G did really well there, pressuring that A side. Like, again, some people really just don't respect the value of the showstopper outside of getting a frag. They all just want to meme whenever the rocket misses. But like you said, I think you nailed it perfectly. It's basically like a pseudo lockdown. It forces players to respect it. It forces them to back up and play more passively or play for retake. And so it gives you so much space. So Sean basically able to capture the site by just jumping in with that. And yeah, as you said, the lockdown was in play for TSM to retake, but it was immediately shut down by the paint shells of Sean. So Sean had a lot of value that round, even if he wasn't necessarily fragging out. He was, you know, knocking down a lot of the retake tools that TSM were going to have and set up his teammates to complete the round in a pretty big way. So all in all, a huge half from Gen.G, in my opinion. They absolutely impressed me with some of their diversity there. It really took individual heroics for TSM to be able to get any value out of that half. And even when they did, they're still, you know, decently behind.
Now we get to see what they mount as far as an attack goes, and you know, only having 2 competitive games on file. We've seen how a lot of teams play this map if you're not comfortable. Unfortunately, the Ghost comes out on top here over the Sheriff for Wardell as he will fall down. Sean gonna find another in the defense, looking to be locked down D. As the dart just getting so much value. Cutler's able to trade it back, but again, it just feels like it's starting to fall apart. As I say it, Hayes able to find himself on the board, but Huynh picks up 2, and it's the Ghost once more.
Yeah, really good assertive defense there from Gen.G on the A side. They were not looking to play retake. They were not looking to give up any room for free. They got a pretty early read that TSM were fully committed to this just based on Huynh spotting out Wardell, and so they went ahead and made their rotations, and Huynh was an all-star there, a big hat trick to put the round in favor of Gen.G. A little bit of, well, basically a full force buy at this point from TSM. They get 2 Stingers and 3 Sheriffs. It worked for them last time. Certainly they can be deadly, and they have a couple of, you know, big name players in that team who can frag out. So, and at this point, you feel like they kind of need to start chipping away at this lead that Gen.G have as soon as possible.
Ooh, drone from downtown, able to find that kill onto Guimon, and that's what happens sometimes in this fourth round. Oh, Wardell with the Sheriff picks one up. Mikhail is able to trade it back, but TSM still on top only for a moment as Kusta comes through. Living in the kitchen is that Cypher, and that's where he's finding his kills. The spike has since been planted, though. Huynh gets a little aggressive, buys himself a Vandal in this round, and this would be a nice upgrade in the hands of TSM should they pick up this one.
Yeah, Joan at least ensures that everyone from TSM is playing post-plant from yellow or long B, so it limits some of the angles they have to worry about as they approach. But again, the clock is their worst enemy. They need to start moving in quickly, and it's not getting any easier when Wardell's putting shots like that.
No, but Kusta trading him right back to Stingers once more. Now, Kusta's just got to hold the angle while his teammate just holds the spike instead. He will find the kill. He will find the 4K. And Gen.G moved to double digits.
That was a dicey round, though, for being 100% honest. I mean, I feel like Kusta had to be kind of the guardian angel in that situation to save the day. Also, good use of the drone from Mikhail to kind of, again, clear out a lot of spots and allow them just to kind of focus up on one direction. And Kusta, once he was able to hone in, was able to deliver. Really good job here through and through to cover his teammates and to allow that spike to get diffused and put his team up to 10. And with that investment, and even with the spy plant, TSM still can't afford here. So it's just going to be Sheriffs aplenty. And while they've made rounds like this stressful on Gen.G, Gen.G are still kind of on cruise control so far here on Icebox.
You got so much wiggle room as well. 6 rounds to play with before things start to get a little scary. And Huynh with that Vandal once more, able to find the spray down onto Wardell. And now the Sheriffs not looking to be a whole lot, not looking to get a whole lot done here early in this one. As Sabrosa trying to grab some tube control, taking a page out of the Gen.G book, but just not a whole lot to be had as that spike creeps up towards A. Trapwire should slow him down. Sabrosa gonna fall to the stinger of Kusta once more. And Gen.G try and find another round, but it doesn't seem to take a whole lot for them to do just that. They're trying to make it flawless, and Kusta is hungry for more kills, but so is Drone. Sean will finally close things out, take the imposter down, but TSM again make it hurt.
Indeed, they do. And this is basically last chance saloon here for TSM. They will get a full buy here, but if this doesn't work, Gen.G are on map point, and they're basically force buying scraps in what could be the final round of the game. So this is their moment where they must shine if they want to be able to take this map pick away from Gen.G. And it's also worth noting, by the way, just a little bit of a fun fact out there, Gen.G has never beaten TSM in an actual best-of-3 or best-of-5 situation. All of their wins have either been like a map within a best-of-3, or it's been a best-of-1 in the group stage or something along those lines. So this would be huge for them if they're able to build off of this and actually close out this map and set themselves up going forward. But that's a big opening pick from Hazed.
Yeah, one of the most important here, as you said, this next round going the way of Gen.G means map point. Oh, definitely a big one to pick up, or the best time to start turning on here. TSM need to string 7 in a row to tie things up, 8 in a row to grab that lead, and 9 for the win. But one round at a time as they storm onto the B side. The spike swinging kind of wide here. Sabrosa looks to spray through, make sure nobody's on the other side of the box, making sure nobody's playing that drone angle. Drone from downtown picks up 2, though. GMD and Kusta are gone. That is the top frag down. That is the smokes and the paranoia down. Oh, as Gen.G are down to their last member here. Drone going huge in this one off the back end of that pick from Hayes, and Huynh in a 1v5. He popped the knife. You might as well go for it. This is going to be a crazy effort if he gets this one done.
I'm not feeling it. I'm going to be real with you. That's a nice pick there onto Wardell, but now the jig should well and truly be out. They know exactly where he is. As long as they play it disciplined, they shouldn't have a problem. But Huynh through the cloud. They're able to find Cutler. I think the problem is the clock. That's going to be his worst enemy here. He's able to find a couple of kills and make things interesting for a brief moment, but TSM were never really in hot water when it comes down to it, as they will go ahead and get their first attacking round and stop Gen.G from reaching map point. Again, that was a must-win round for them, and they were able to come up with it, but what can they build off of it? If Drone keeps like that, if he starts getting hot, he is one of the most effective Lulu's we have in the NA region. He is one of the most impactful players that compete in North America, that's for sure. He's so good at creating openings. A Phoenix master, obviously, but also very capable on the raise, and he's already had a couple of big moments in this game. That is what I feel will be the driving force for TSM to get back in this map, will be if Drone can keep stuff like that going.
One's looking high, one's looking low. The operators not going to spot each other just yet, but the rifle fire from across this A site will be traded back and forth, and Hazed looking to open things up for his team once more, as he did in the last round. When able to hold that tight corner, will be able to dash away should he get into trouble. And Sean is also there to peek off the back end, which is something we sometimes don't see. Now Hazed and aggressive. This could be, okay, maybe not a great spot as Win, making sure to do his due diligence and check all of the angles, but a very slow start here from TSM.
Michaela with a drone out middle, though, and get some information over there, so it allows Gen.G to kind of reinforce their A defense and even allow their Sova to start making an early rotation. They already have 3 players on the A site, in fact, so I mean, they have a pretty good look. They saw the can set up at long B, so they know that that's covered. They know that TSM are not doubling back. So Gen.G are just absolutely dominating the information game right now. It's allowing them to really take comfortable angles here on the site.
And comfortable angles, comfortable shots from Quinn as he finds a third one here, looking to find a couple more, make it 4 as he tries to dash away. Sean is there to help him out, and Gen.G go flawless into map point.
Yeah, again, it's that combination of droning out tube and discovering that there was one player rotating over from B to middle, and then also having their cams set up over kind of deep towards yellow position to make sure that TSM were not doubling back. They were able to, again, have complete and total information on what they were up against. It allowed them to have 3 players on A site ready to go as TSM were approaching. And again, Mikhail was already in a pretty quick spot to be that 4th person to rotate over when required. So great job there by Gen.G, not allowing TSM build up too much momentum here. And now they're well on their way to closing this game out. They have plenty of chances to get the W here on Icebox.
I don't know how many people feel pretty comfortable with TSM and their Guardians. I know that they are, they've been running them in scrims. Wardell gonna have the knives in hand, so that's definitely something working in their favor. They have 4 ultimates available. You do have to be wary. Sean has been locked down on the lockdown, as we do see that one come on through from Hayes. He's actually able to find the kill on the operator. Wardell goes up top, close quarters with the knives, and picks one up on top of it all. Now down to the last 3 is Gen.G. The lockdown not going to find anybody as far as detainment goes, but with a showstopper available, we could see that retake. A whole lot of information from the dart as well for Gen.G. Swarm Grenade going to try and slow things down. GMD able to pick up a couple. Cutler trades it back, but things looking quite a bit more doable. Unfortunately, the spike not planted in the most advantageous position. There's the Hunter Shuri. Sabrosa to the ear of Mikhail and Wardell to close it out. TSM battle back in the face of despair.
Yeah, but I think that's calculated from Gen.G, right? You basically forced TSM to burn 3 ults just to get their first round back, essentially, on this comeback effort they're trying to make from still 6 rounds behind. So I think if you're Gen.G, you're not too upset about that. Like, you realize what they had to use resource-wise to make that happen. And now, what? There's only the From the Shadows left for TSM? I can't remember. They might have one more ult available coming to this round as well, as we watch the replay here, as he had this kind of domination from Wardell sneaking through the ropes with the daggers. But yeah, they do have the From the Shadows, and they do have drone showstopper still, sure. But I think Gen.G are still feeling pretty comfy.
Drone gonna go wide there. They do get information, I believe, on the 2, playing out over towards that B site.
Yep.
Broza, though, taking those back lines with the From the Shadows. Now you have to be wary about what could be on the flank, and that might actually force those 2 members from Gen.G.
This is interesting. Like, TSM did a great job there understanding the defense's setup by spotting those 2 players and allowing Sabrosa to safely ult in behind. The problem is Quinn is locking down the A site, and now they've darted another player.
Ooh, but Kusa not able to find too much on the back end, and Sabrosa actually able to find one with the position he put himself in. 2 kills come through, and TSM continue to battle back here. Now in a 4v2, that showstopper still available. The economy not in a bad spot here for Gen.G, and now things looking again a lot more doable as Sean finds that first kill here on the flank. Iman looking to go toe-to-toe here with the imposter. Sabrosa able to sit him down, finding 3, and we'll see if Sean decides to just send it for the lulz here in the 1v3 if he does hang on to that Vandal.
Yeah, he's trying to poke and prod. Maybe if he can find a kill, he can pop the showstopper and, you know, force some rebuying out of TSM at the very least. So I definitely can understand him wanting to get in here and see what he can do. Does find Hazed as well. Looking for another, spots him towards mid, finds that also. Wardell, though, able to silence Sean, but he doesn't get away. So Sean makes that very costly on TSM. Obviously, they're going to be full buying every round, no matter what, sure, but you're limiting what they're going to be able to bring into the mix. So I do like that from Sean to, you know, get a little bit extra on his way out the door. As TSM, again, just great to get a read of that B defense, know that Sabrosa could safely ult in behind, and Sabrosa got a lot of impact from that position. 3 kills, and it was all said and done from getting in those back lines. So a little bit of craftiness there from TSM to get a little bit of a comeback going. They've won 3 of the last 4 rounds, and while they haven't really threatened Gen.G just yet, you give them a couple of more, and all of a sudden Gen.G need to be a bit concerned.
Yeah, he's a bit done with giving up these rounds, though, as he goes aggressive with the knives. GMD gonna mow him down underneath Tube, now looking for another. The mid play makes everything fall apart here for TSM. Cutler trades it back, but it is an uphill battle with Guimond on the flank, looking to find some more. The op shot goes wide, and who better than GMD to close out map 1?
That is absurd. Guimond just getting in their face underneath that tube, not allowing them any free space as they tried to make that under mid push. And man, Gen.G just looked so polished on that map in comparison to TSM.